Energy bills are out of this world. Food costs have skyrocketed. But wait, there's more. In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly where all of this is headed. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. In today's video, I want to show you inflation. I want to tell you what's coming in the end. A lot of people can't make this connection, but we will today for those who stay, of course, until the end. I want to show you this, and we're looking at just one example. I'm sure these are cherry-picked examples that somebody pulled up. All I wanted to highlight from this was that just over the past few years, it seems like only yesterday, before the lockdowns, look at the prices, okay? Just some examples. And I'm sure you have 20 off the top of your head. I used to buy this for $1. A few years later, my goodness, it's $5. It's $3, whatever the case is. You go to your quote unquote dollar store, they're selling things for $4, they're selling things for $5. Nothing seems to be a dollar. And it's gone wild. There's inflation everywhere, not to mention shrinkflation, where they squeeze the packages in a certain way so that you pretend that everything's all good, but meanwhile, it's got less contents in it. It's that bag of chips with one chip sitting at the bottom of a bunch of air. And then you can see the others where they call it skimpflation. What's skimpflation? Well, that's when they take all of these products, let's say food products, and they kind of fill them up. They put some sawdust in there to fill it up and give you less of what you came for. One by one, we are being attacked from all sides. This is, of course, something that you can't put that into a calculation. You can't say, well, my inflation is 5%, mine is 10%. Well, how do you factor in shrinkflation and skimpflation? These things, you can't really do that. So when everything is considered, our position today is much worse than where it has ever been. I've seen people, and please share with me in the comments, with everybody, let's get a conversation going, that their energy bill, they go to look at the bill and they say, wait a minute, I only used like $30 of energy and yet my bill's $200. What's going on? This fee, that fee, carbon tax this, and it's gone crazy. And that's what's going to happen here. Okay, just like a parasite would consume you until you're gone and it loses the host, it's the same thing that's happening today. Keep that in mind. Greedflation caused more than half of last year's inflation surge. Corporate profits, by the way, remain at an all-time high. And so that greedflation that we've all been experiencing, there's no question about it that companies know how to do it. Look, let me tell you how it works. Input costs have risen. This is true. I know it because I've been feeling it myself. All right? So I produce products, and these products, the workers, they need more. The warehousing costs are higher. The shipping costs are higher. My shipping cost ended up quadrupling at one point, more than quadruple. So that alone is a factor. Now that has come down somewhat, but it's still double. And even depending on when I was doing it, they'll double to triple. So costs are still higher. You look at the actual raw material costs. The steel, oh, it's more expensive now. This is the new cost. All of that goes in. But here's the thing. You see, people have been accustomed to paying more recently. If you go to the restaurant, that pasta dish that used to be $14 is now $18. The one that used to be $18 is now $24. Like it's going up. Or you used to get the free bread on the table with the olive oil. Oh no, we don't have that. Oh, you want that? Sure. That's $6. And so on. You know what I mean? Like that's the shrinkflation. So these things are coming into play from every which way. And you can't get around that on a daily basis because it's coming from every single angle. It's not like you can cut from here and then you add it. No, you're just slowly but surely being taken. They're taking from you. They're eroding what you have. And this has been a problem for not just people in one place or another, but of course it seems to be widespread. So the input costs are higher, but yes, let's say overall that product's going to cost you, it was, let's say $10, now it's $11. Well, that company can charge you 12, can charge 13, 14. And so, yeah, their input costs are higher, but their margins can grow because they know, hey, everybody else is doing it. Let me see what I can get away with. And they're doing so. And that's the one thing that people aren't getting through. Yeah, they're not lying that their input costs are higher, but in many cases, some cases, depends, that they are taking advantage of it. Corporate profits at an all-time high. Certainly with these big companies, not the small companies, not the restaurant down the street. Let's be clear, okay? They're probably getting screwed, if anything. And this just shows us the Northeast urban household energy. So basically the cost of energy has risen. Yes, we are off the top, off the peak, but it's still out of control. People can't afford that. The price of food, one of the items people encounter most frequently. Grocery inflation has plummeted year over year at a peak of 13.5%. Yet a typical basket of groceries still costs 20% more than it did in February of 2021, just before inflation began to accelerate. I think personally, by the way, that the price has gone much more than that. That's just me. But you tell me, is that accurate? Or actually, is it understating how bad things are? You could let me know, but that's what they're saying. Regardless, the price is up. And what about housing? Well, in the example of Canada, and by the way, people in the US say, oh my goodness, the bubble is here. You have no idea. Look at that red line at the top there. That is Canada. And my goodness, Canada's real estate prices went bonkers compared to their G7 peers. Canada is positioned, I don't want to say the worst, because certainly Europe is finished, but I'm telling you right now, they are in a bad spot. Bad spot as of right now, for many reasons. This is quite interesting. Okay. Look at this. Canada, they've effectively stagnated from 2016 to 2022 when you look at per capita income. Because of inflation, because of the price of the homes, because of energy, food, and so on, your living standards haven't improved and, in fact, have gone down. So you see how that can be an issue, right? How are you supposed to have a growing economy? How are you supposed to have prosperity? And then when you look at it, like overall zoom out, what do you think that does to the morale of the people? Well, of course, they start to get upset. There starts to be civil unrest. There starts to be a big concern of the things to come. You can't get stuff done because there's so much uncertainty. That's what's going on right now. And it is a very, very dangerous time. And the solution, what is it? The solution is to kick the can down the road. And of course, when they do this, they accelerate the inevitable pain. Inflation is the solution because they can simply get on with the next election. But of course, the pain in the end will be much worse. Majority of Canadians are now spending more than they are taking in. Of course, this is the biggest concern. And it is one thing that I'll be talking about, and I always do, with my live class. You know, if you want solutions, just go to the how-to and solutions playlist that I have here on the channel. That is available to you. But all of like the extreme detail is for the live class. Look at it. I mean, just rising utility bills are making it harder for low-income households to keep the lights on. And the problem is getting worse after the Arctic cold front swept the U.S. in January. It's the same in the U.S. It's the same everywhere, in fact. Prices are up, so you got to start cutting from one place or another, and that's going to impact the real economy inflation pinching workers even more this year. Just showing you the percentage of people saying, yeah, it's hitting hard. So where are we going? Well, this is what I have to tell you. I've been studying this for a very long time. I've been looking into this in depth. And I've already, many years ago, started to prepare as a result of this. But if you haven't, or if you're not sure if you have, look, it's not too late. It's never too late. The only time it's too late is, when you don't get the picture and you're not understanding and you're not making the steps. It's not a one single day event. This is the thing that happens over time. So the earlier, the better. But the best time, if you haven't started, is today. Let's talk. No cash accepted signs are bad news for millions of Americans. It's talking about the unbanked people and so on. But look, where are they taking us? They're taking us to a cashless society, a central bank, digital currency. And what about this? Netherlands, by the way, they're talking about the Queen of the Netherlands, Maxima, promotes digital ID at Davos. And I believe it was actually from Davos a few years ago. The point is, they're all going for that. Digital ID. They're going for, the digital ID, the CBDCs, and the cashless society all interlinked together. But understand something. If you've got a bunch of people who can't pay their energy bills, can't pay their food bills, who are struggling with their day-to-day lives, they reach out their hand. And the government says, we have something for you. We have this solution for you. No matter where you are, you could be in the middle of nowhere. You could be in Manhattan. Doesn't matter. We have a solution. We can get it to you instantly. It's called Universal Basic Income, brought to you by the central bank digital currency. Oh no, but they're going to stop that from happening, right? Do you think if a crisis comes up and you've got many more millions of people unemployed or just can't afford their bills and they start to riot in the streets, they say, we demand something. Don't you think that the government is going to say, absolutely, here we go. Oh, the perfect opportunity for that solution. They've done this before in other ways. They've gone above and beyond. Think about what they did. Think about the things that they did. And you said they would never be able to do that. You would have asked people months before they did that, like 2019 or even January 2020. You asked people if the things that they did, if they would ever be able to get away with that. You would have said, no way. You would have bet your life on that. And yet they did it. They are going to extend their hand, and in it will be that supposed solution of the central bank digital currency, UBI. And people need to do everything they can to ensure that they do not have to succumb to the strings attached. If you want to know the great details, everything that I cannot get to onto YouTube, and of course, in the end, it will be the place where, basically the only place where you'll be able to get to me. It is on my live sessions. The live sessions are 2-hour sessions every single week. And I get into the nitty-gritty of it all. All right? There's more to it than that, but I want you to check it out at the link in the description. themoneygps.com/live. themoneygps.com/live. I hope to see you there. Of course, I hope to see you back here tomorrow. Take care.